guys, this is Oля and Easy Relationship, and today we speak about looking for Ukrainian wife using Ukrainian marriage agency. Of course, I can tell you a lot about this topic in my videos by myself, but I think sometimes it's better to ask some person who have experience in it and to listen from him from the first words, and maybe have some tips for you or understand something very important for you. Okay, so today I have Kevin. He's a very awesome guy, a very awesome gentleman from England, and he decided to give me an interview and share his experience of looking for wife in Ukraine.
Hi Ella.
Yeah, hi Max. Okay, so first of all, of course, thank you that you agreed to give me an interview, because not a lot of guys love to share his experience. And first of all, of course, my question is very popular for every foreigner in Ukraine. Why you decided to look for Ukrainian wife using Ukrainian marriage agency instead of just natural way of looking for wife?
Okay, no, really good question. My rationale in looking for a wife in Ukraine came after a lot of research. I looked at the situation in the country, I looked at the kind of aspirations of women in Ukraine. Family is very high on the agenda, and marriage is very high on the agenda. That's something that we have very much in common. And it's something that's kind of been eroded in the UK. It's something that's kind of degenerated a little bit. So that was the common issue with Ukraine for me.
Yeah, but you decided to use marriage agency instead of just come to Ukraine, like a lot of guys decide, I just better come to Ukraine and go in the streets and maybe I will meet someone.
Ola, my advice really is to anybody that thinks they can just go onto Facebook or VK and just do it by themselves, is guys, please don't do that. I was absolutely blessed by finding a very reputable marriage agency, the Mordinson Marriage Agency here in Kharkiv. And I'd like to particularly highlight Michael Mordinson and the efforts that Michael makes on behalf of guys from the West. I'm absolutely blessed to know this man, and my life has been absolutely revolutionised and changed for the better thanks to Michael and the Mordinson Agency.
So how did you meet your fiancée? How was your first meeting, and how in general you get...
Okay, well, as I say, there is absolutely no way that you can come here without research. You have to understand the country, you have to understand the customs of Ukraine, you have to understand the things that motivate Ukrainian women. Working with Michael, I was very fortunate to write to a number of ladies, and one particular letter stood out above all the others. Everybody that responded gave me a fantastic response. Inquisitive in a good way, inquisitive in a nice, friendly, helpful way, but one letter in particular caught my attention. And for about 7 months I wrote to that particular lady, and in August of this year came to Ukraine with Michael's help, and we met for the first time. And it really was love at first sight. So.
And did you communicate through translator, or you learn Ukrainian, or she learn English?
Once again, I'm absolutely blessed because my fiancée is an English tutor. She is absolutely fluent in English and French, which made life.
Yeah, so you don't have any problems with communicating and language barrier?
None at all. And the service from Michael in terms of turnaround letters backwards and forwards to my fiancée was absolutely brilliant.
So you decided to look for wife in Ukraine. What is the main difference you can tell between Western women and Ukrainian? Because all Ukrainian women is also very different, so it depends from person. But in general, do you see some very important difference between them?
Very much so. Women are women all around the world. Universally, women are there. I was raised by a very strong mother. I was raised with a great deal of respect for women, and that's been a theme throughout my life. Sadly, the attitude towards common courtesy and courtship and the male role in England and UK has become something very difficult for me. For example, if a man opens a door for a lady, some ladies kind of object to that. We had a recent news item where ladies were holding up placards which said, "Don't call me sweetheart," that kind of thing. So from my research, I settled upon the fact that ladies in Ukraine, women in Ukraine in general, value that kind of male role. So men are men here, women are women here, and that works for me, and it works for my fiancée.
And of course, the big percent of Ukrainian marriage agency and all marriage industry is scam. Because there are a lot of men who are ready to pay money for meeting Ukrainian wife, and of course here is a big demand of people who are ready to take this money. And there are a lot of scammers. So what maybe you can give some tips how to avoid scammers.
Absolutely, Ola. One thing I would say, guys, is that whatever you do, please, if it sounds too good to be true when you see it, it will be too good to be true. If you are putting yourself out there, and if you are writing to people where there's a huge age gap between you, when clearly at any stage in life you wouldn't be involved with a woman of that kind, then it's an alarm bell that rings immediately. But take your time, do the research, find a reputable agency, as Michael runs here, and you can't go wrong. In fact, I'm writing a blog about experiences in that field of pro-daters and scammers, and I'm doing it of my own volition. It's because I want to help Western men to find true Ukrainian women.
Okay, so I can give a link to Kevin's blog under the description of video, and you can just read about his experience and his article, and maybe it will be very helpful for you not to spend money at least on scammers. So maybe we now need to ask Michael to enter our conversation, because you praise him a lot, and I want that you guys maybe too give some tips for my followers. So okay guys, I decided to ask you two together because you deal with each other, and so yeah, I just interview you. So tell about your experience. What is the most important thing when you want to meet Ukrainian wife? Maybe you can share your experience, and with Kevin, like how you work together.
Let Kevin start.
Okay, I wouldn't be here today in this wonderful position that I am without you, Ola, making the video last year and the interview with Michael. It was through my research that I found your video last year, the first interview with Michael, and that's why I got in touch with Michael. So there is no substitute at all for doing proper research for a Western man.
Absolutely.
To find a reputable agency. That's my biggest advice.
Do your homework.
Yeah.
Other than that, you have to always be honest with yourself, and of course be honest with the girls you are talking to, and as Kevin said, you have to do the research, you have to do your homework. There are many things. It's a complex process because it involves so many things and it influences so many things in your life, but it is very real. And the example of Kevin, the example of many couples who meet in the Mordinson agency. I just told Ola a couple of minutes ago, this week on 20th of October there was another wedding here in Kharkov, a guy, Joe and Ina, and you can find that his testimonial on our website. He's from Spain, they just got married, and there is one more wedding scheduled for November 19th, a guy from UK by the way, and the lady he met in the agency. It's very real, but you have to do the research. You have to read and you have to educate yourself about this.
Yeah, and read a lot of testimonials. This is my advice, because a lot of people take money and spend money on scammer agency, and there are so many testimonials about their scammers that nobody meet their wife, but more and more people decided to try, and maybe not me, maybe I will not be scammed. So it's better, don't waste your time and money, and just take trustworthy marriage agencies which you like. Of course, you need to like their managers, because you need to have special connections with the owners and managers of agency, and just go ahead and find your wife and live happy to the end of your life.
Absolutely.
This is what I can say.
I agree.
I cannot recommend Michael and the Mordinson agency enough as a Western guy. He puts a great deal of effort into finding happiness for you and your future wife, so please don't hesitate, guys, just do it.
Okay, so it was nice to hear the testimonies of these guys, and hope this video will be helpful for you guys as any other of mine. And just if you have some questions, you can answer me on the comments, and also don't forget to visit the blog of Kevin and read his articles, which can be very helpful for you also. Love you guys all.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.